All right.
Bobby.
Hello, friends. All right. Mike Diaz. Welcome.
I like that.
Thank you.
I like that.
Yeah, I've had this Roadcaster in the other room for the last, probably 10 or 15 podcasts, maybe even more. And I finally have a stool, as you can see. I mean, it's kind of off the... Oh, wait, I didn't mean to... I didn't mean to click that. I'm not used to it being right here.
You got everything in here.
Thank you. Yeah.
Nice.
It's taken me a while and a lot of, commitment to the culture, damn it, to get all this stuff. But welcome, Mike Diaz.
Thank you for having me.
Very, very happy to have you here. And by the way, do me a favor. You should honestly just keep the mic, right here.
I'm not used to having,
I get it.
things in my face like that.
Oh, yeah? Oh, wait.
We'll keep it here. I'll try to remember to talking to Mike.
Wonderful. Nice socks, by the way.
Thank you. I was actually the most impressed by that. The first thing I asked was, should I take off my shoes? He's like, yes, don't worry. I got socks for you. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Make me some coffee. Man, what a host.
Well, you're doing something that I used to do, which is you're wearing Vans Authentics without socks. That was me all through high school and college. I was such a Vans Authentic no socks guy. I had the royal blue color, only the royal blue color. I never had any other color. I bought the red one, I bought the black one, but I returned them. And then I'm not. What's the guy with the white Vans? Back at it again with the white Vans.
Oh, damn, Daniel.
Back at it. Yeah, I'm not Daniel.
Damn, Daniel.
Damn, Daniel.
I wish you would have told me, brought that back in my head. Now it's be saying it all day.
Yeah.
Damn, Daniel.
Damn, Daniel. Back it again with the white Vans. So yeah, I literally purchased big fat white tube socks from Costco because I got carpeted floors and I want people to be sanitary here.
Yeah, sanitary, comfortable.
Yeah.
I would feel weird if I took off my just raw dog in some Vans shoes and just started walking around your carpet.
Yeah, just DT Tampa last night and then just walking around with Bar Howard all over the floor.
Never thought about it like that. Put a little penthouse on the ground.
Wait, what?
I said I never thought about it like that. A little penthouse on the ground, some 2001 Odyssey underneath my shoes.
Oh God, yeah. So welcome to the Graham Radio podcast. We have some stuff to talk about. There was some drama recently.
There's drama.
Wait. No, fuck. I'm getting used to my soundboard again.
Drama? Mike Diaz is drama free. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, right.
Come on.
So, but before we get into all of that stuff, I do want to know, who is Mike Diaz? So we're in Tampa right now. Where are you from?
So originally I was born in New York. When I was little, 2-3 years old, moved to Virginia Beach, and then I moved to Tampa, Florida when I was 10 years old. So I pretty much grew up here and was raised here.
So you've been in Tampa since you were 10, and you're how old do you know?
I am 29.
So you've been here for almost 2 decades.
Pretty much.
Okay. So tell me about your music progression. You're not only are you a DJ now, but you're DJing at these big places. You're DJing at places that I want to DJ. You're DJing at places that people look at and want to DJ, such as I'll just name a few places. Water, and you tell me where else.
First ever gig I believe was Show Bar. So
amazing.
Show Bar, that was given to me by Italo, and I've DJed at Tangra, Club Sky, and Water before. I've DJed at Celine, and obviously I've done some Pied Piper events as well.
Right. So you're DJing these big places, so I want to hear about your music progression. You didn't snap your fingers and all of a sudden you're DJing at Water and Show Bar. There was a process there. So, can you tell me, how did that work? What was the first time that you ever touched a DJ mixer?
The first time I ever touched a DJ mixer was, probably pre-COVID, but I think it was COVID is when I'm like, all right, well, now I have all this time. I really I've always asked myself, if I could get paid to do one thing and get, it would be DJing,
Right.
DJing for a large crowd. And there's a famous thing that resonates with me that DJ Diesel, Shaq says, is why he became a DJ, is because he wanted to recreate that feeling he felt in Game 7. And I can't recreate the feeling of the screams that I used to get from, being a male entertainer and, selling out those shows. And the closest thing is being a DJ. And I love just performing for people and just performing for huge crowds, like, and getting those goosebumps in my arms. So that's kind of why I became a DJ and why I'm pursuing it so passionately. And to answer your question, yes, COVID is right when I first started touching some DJ mixers.
So, you know, with the male entertainer thing, I feel like a lot of people might hear what you just said and immediately latch onto that and say, oh, like, don't disrespect DJing by comparing it to being a male entertainer. But I want to say that the way that you just approached that answer, I love it. And I want to tell you why. That's literally been my exact answer to why I DJ. I DJ for the feeling. And you can go back years into these podcasts and listen to that. The feeling that I get at Grateful Dead shows, at Fish shows, that feeling that I get at Club Space when it's 4 a.m. and everybody's on the same wavelength, just the feeling of unity. I mean, I've never been on stage, you know, like with my shirt off, and I don't plan to. But
never know.
Never know. But I can only imagine the rush that you would feel, you know, like, I mean, I don't know. I've never been to like a male entertainment show and stuff. So like that feeling that like, are you saying the feeling that you had of like, just like.
Literally like goosebumps, hair standing on your arms, not nervousness, but butterflies in your stomach of excitement. Like just hearing the screams like right before you like go out on stage or like go perform, like that feeling. Or like when you are performing and you do something something amazing or play a great song or do a great trick and you hear all the screams, that's what I'm after.
So I want to touch on like the male entertainment thing a little bit. So like obviously that came before the DJing.
Indubitably.
Yes. So what a vernacular on Mike Diaz. So tell me, how did you get into that? How long were you in that for? Like, are you still doing that? Are you planning on going back to that? Like, give me like the rundown on that.
Great question. So the honest answer is I was like 17 years old, 2012, in high school, and Magic Mike, the movie, was coming out during the summer. And it was about a guy named Mike that lived in Tampa, and that was a male stripper. And I'm like, well, my name is Mike, and, you know, I have a pretty good body. Like, I could do that. Long story short, I literally was like, yo, deadass, I'm going to do this. At 17, like, I made business cards. Like, there was...
Really?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
At 17 years old. And, like, there was even, like, a school project in one of my economics classes. Like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Me being a class clown, like, I made these business cards, did a full presentation on how I want to be a male stripper.
That's so funny.
And just fast forwarding to give you, like, the short, you know, rendition... 2 years later, I have this sales job, and I still have these business cards in my car. And I go on this lunch break with one of my coworkers who's a promoter, and he's like, oh, shit, you're the real Magic Mike. I'm like, nah, that's just a joke. But then 3 months later from then, he's like, yo, I'm hosting this male review. I could really use you out there. And then instead of saying, hey, I'm not really a stripper or I never, like, danced before, I'm like, I'll be there. Like, yeah.
Dude.
Yep.
That's so funny. Wait, so how did he recognize you as the real Magic Mike?
Because my name is Mike. I think he was making a joke, a reference to me being like
he didn't know that you did that in high school.
No, he did. He probably thought like I did this like, you know, low key, like did private parties and I'm like covering it up. Yeah.
Right. So that first time that you went out there, is that when you first experienced, you know, the quote unquote feeling that like DJ Diesel and me have felt at like various places?
So no, actually.
How did that first one go?
So, bro, this is crazy stories. So long story short, the promoter, my friend, and the person who booked the show got in a fight with the club owner, got kicked out. Then it's just me and then like 4 other guys, and the 4 other guys are used to working with each other. So, you know, good old classic, you know, well, we don't really know this guy. We don't need this guy. Like, so they try to get me not to dance. And then this other gentleman that I was vibing with, his name is Shadow. And he's like, man, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. Why are they scared? Like, you know, you never danced before. Like, why are they scared? And like, kind of like the waitresses and the girls there were already vibing with me, just giving me money. I wasn't doing anything. And I'm like getting all of this attention. I'm like, man, this is nice. But
I bet. Yeah. Like, you know, as a 5'7" stocky Jewish lawyer, I gotta say, I can't really relate. I'm just kidding. I'm sexy as hell. Amanda, isn't that right? That's right.
Listen, being a lawyer in Tampa, that's sexy to women.
Is that true?
Big facts.
Nice. Okay, sorry. I don't mean to derail what you were saying.
No, you're fine. You're
Yeah.
fine. But yeah, they tried to get me not to dance, and I didn't go up there and dance. I might have done like some little private dances over here, for a dancer or two. But Shadow was like, hey, there's no one as tall as you that's a male stripper that I know. If you're serious, like, here's my number, hit me up. And I'm like, all right, bet. I hit him up. I met him up at a LA Fitness, worked out with him. He's like, all right, so we're going on this tour 2 weeks from now. And like, we're going to Texas. I'm like, all right, I'm coming. Like, that's how I've always been. I've always just been like a very about it, like, spontaneous dude, and like never backing down and just always going full-fledged into things. So I'm like, all right, let's do it. Bro, when I got to the meetup spot for this Texas tour, it was like a Ford Explorer with a U-Haul attached in the back, and there's 5 guys. There's 5 of us.
Not in the U-Haul.
No, not in a U-Haul. No, that would be nice. That would be spacious. No, 5 guys in a Ford Explorer trying to sleep in a 22-hour like drive to Texas.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I was like 19, by the way, when I did this, and they're all like in their late 30s, 40s, and I just watched everyone like go to sleep like almost immediately. I'm like, what? Like, how? That's what I thought. I'm like, how? Well, I'm like, well, I'm younger than them, and they're old. Like, if he can do it, I can do this. So I'm not gonna bitch. And that's kind of how like it all started. And like I would hear all these stories of like, oh, hundreds, 800 girls, thousands of girls, this huge shows. And I'd go, and we go to drive all the way to Texas. I show up to the show, there's 17 girls there. I'm like, what the fuck?
Wait, so, and by the way, please just like more into
gotcha.
the mic. Yeah, you hear the difference. Yeah. Yep. So, is it 17 girls in like a big venue, or 17 girls in like a hotel room?
No, like 17 girls in a decent sized venue. Like, so it felt very empty.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So, these events, so I don't dance on poles, and I do private parties, but this is like when I toured. So it would be like, you'd buy your tickets on Groupon, Eventbrite, and you'd go to, see a show, just like if you're going to see a Day to Remember.
Right.
So these girls are like pre-bought these tickets, to, this club to come see our show, and only 17 girls were there. And then the next show, like 28 girls. And then the next one, it was like maybe 40 girls. I'm like, where are the hundreds of girls, bro? Yeah. Like, where, like, this sucks. Like, I'm living like kind of like a shitty rock band right now. And then finally, there's this place called El Paso, Texas. And we were on a radio. There's like 890 girls there.
Oh my gosh.
And that's where I got the feeling. And that's where I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna bitch no more. This is real.
So how was that? I mean, like, you go out on stage, like, what do you hear? What do you feel? What do you see? How do they introduce you on stage?
How did they introduce me? I believe they just said like, it was like my first and middle name, Michael Xavier, and I don't really. You want to know how? Actually, it's starting to come to me now that you asked. They would say like these stupid little lines like, "Who wants a guy who's young, dumb, and or he just turned 21 years old, ladies," which I was 19, so right. I was 21 years old on the microphone for like 3 years straight. That's
great.
So, but yeah, that it was phenomenal. And me thinking,
ladies and gentlemen, who wants a 21-year-old? He's
oh yeah, ladies. In the blue corner, we have Levi Graham.
I hope you brought your. All right, okay.
Who got the blue chews?
Yeah. So, you're on stage. You're 19. You're 20. You're 19, but everyone thinks that you're 21. You're. And
gosh, I wish I didn't say that. But you asked what the lines they said were. Those were the lines. Like, they would roast me on a microphone before they brought me.
No, I'm gonna say this right now. I'm gonna edit. Because
you don't want to talk about
No. I just the thing. I'm gonna definitely like bleep that out, just because if you want to know what I'm saying here, just DM me. But yeah, so you have that moment when you're 19 years old. And then, but you do have this experience like, okay, what the fuck? There were only 17 girls. There were only 40 girls. What the hell? So was it a constant rhythm of like, there's 1,000 girls here and there's 4 girls here? Like, did that happen a lot?
Oh yeah, in the beginning that happened all the time. So I imagine it like, shitty rock band, touring. And then eventually I got to the point where I'm staying at like, the W in downtown, like right across from the venue where we sold out the venue like 2 nights in a row, and we don't have to go anywhere. And like we could just walk across the street, walk around downtown. So it went from like shitty rock band to like sold out shows all the time, staying in downtown, living luxury life, at least 300 to 400 girls like per show.
Mm-hmm. So, and I'm going to cut this part out. Just, hey, Levi, cut this part out. I'm just curious, like, do you get like offers and like paid for like sex and stuff? Like, did that happen?
So that's a great question, because that's the biggest misconception.
Here, then let me re-ask it, and I will keep it in.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
So, when it comes to these big opportunities where you're in front of lots of women, one of the first things that I think of is like you're an easy target for like, hey, like I want to like pay you to do something that you may or may not want to do. So like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, what's your experience with that?
The best way I can answer that is it's not what you think at all like that. But imagine it like this. Imagine like, you're a famous DJ and there's some really hot girls that are screaming, Graham, Graham. And, you're interested and she's interested in you. What do you think that DJ is going to do? For free.
Hook up with her.
We do it for free is the answer.
That's hysterical. Well, that's great. So, so you have these years. How many years did you do that for?
8.
8 years. So tons of experience doing it. I'm sure you have routines and all this like fun, right? I'm not like, I don't want to put words in your mouth. Okay. So, are you done with it now?
I would say yes, but the reason I'm hesitant to completely say I'm completely done is because there is money to where I book like my own shows, and I'd basically bring all the guys, pay the guys, and like throw my own show. And are they not going to see Magic Mike up there? Like,
right.
I'm going to pay a whole nother dancer when I could just do it myself and then also make the tips as well.
Is there a copyright issue with Magic Mike? Because as an attorney, that's like the number one thing that I think of. Like, there was this massive movie with whatever his name is.
Great question.
Yeah, like what the hell was his name?
Channing Tatum.
Mm-hmm. Massive movie. Channing Tatum. Magic Mike. All of a sudden, like, guys named Mike who are like, in that industry are using that name, capitalizing off of something that a movie has like pushed. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot. I think there's like, is there an actionable suit for for like, what's the word? God, if there's any lawyers listening to this, DM me.
Cease and desist?
No. When you make money when you shouldn't have. What's the fucking word? Fuck. By the way, if you need legal assistance, reach out. Fuck. What the fuck is the fucking phrase? It's like unlawful. Okay, basically, like you're like. Have you ever ran into any copyright issues for using that name?
Great question. Because literally when that Magic Mike was out, there was like 6 different groups that were like putting Magic Mike XXL Ladies Night Out, Magic Mike Tribute Show. Like they were abusing the name. I remember I was working for one group. They would at least put Tribute Show. They would put like Magic Mike XXL Ladies Night Out Tribute Show, and they got away with that. But like some groups just didn't care and just put Magic Mike, like just. So I'm sure they might have gotten, some messaging or cease and desist.
Yeah, cease and desists.
But
you never experienced it.
I never experienced it personally, but no, they definitely abused the Magic Mike name, and I'm like, how is this even legal?
Right.
That's what I was thinking. Not necessarily my group,
right?
But like all the other jabronis, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I would say, when it comes to like copyright, a big part of that law is are you first in time to use something? Mm-hmm. So I'm sure you've heard about like the whole recent John Summit craziness with how his label used to be called Off the Grid, now it's called Experts Only.
Actually, no. I've been wondering like why that happened.
So John Summit had a label called Off the Grid, okay? And Off the Grid had these big live events. I don't remember what the live events were called, but keep in mind, like the 2 big factors here, John Summit had a label called Off the Grid, and Off the Grid had their own live events where there's a big sign that says Off the Grid, and it's a bunch of people. Well, before the record label Off the Grid began, there was a camping music festival in, I believe, Southern California called Off the Grid Campout. And that started before the Off the Grid record label, and literally Off the Grid Campout was a big live event with a big freaking sign that said Off the Grid. Well, when it comes to trademark law, if you are taking money out of someone's pocket because you're using their name, they have a very actionable suit against you. So, Off the Grid Campout, and by the way, the following information is brought to you by an article that I read online, and it was from a reputable source. I don't remember, because I read a couple articles. One of them was from like some EDM website that was like just praising John Summit's name, which is super cool. I mean, John Summit's the man, and I think that, I hope that Experts Only gets a ton of great press. With that being said, another article that I found gave a little bit more in depth. It gave more depth into what happened, and I wasn't there. This is all hearsay and third party information, nonetheless. Off the Grid Campout reached out to John Summit's team. According to this article, they reached out multiple times, saying, "Hey, please stop using our name. Like, we're going to sue you." And they probably said that. And John Summit's team reached back out and they said, "Hey, can we coexist?" They said, Off the Grid Campout said no. And apparently there were some money negotiations, but according to the article, Off the Grid Campout wanted, quote unquote, life-changing money, like a life-changing amount of money. And I can only assume that John Summit, first of all, John Summit's lawyers probably said, like, "Hey, yeah, they're right, and we should, they were before us," And again, this is all conjecture. I don't know, but that's probably what happened. Let's be real here. So, it seems like they probably did some sort of cost-benefit analysis of either paying them off or changing the name, and they went with changing the name. And you know what? Good for them. That's cool. Yeah. And something kind of, I wish I did this, but I don't really care. As soon as that news came out, because John Summit sent out a series of tweets, I looked on John Summit's website, and Off the Grid merch was still available on his website, and I thought to myself, "Fuck! Like I should buy this."
Oh,
yeah. I should have.
Especially you, yeah. That'd be a good collectible.
Right, isn't that? Yeah, that would be a cool collectible. But I mean, I don't know. Like, as awesome as John Summit is, I'm more of like a selection guy. Like, I'm more of like a solid grooves guy. And love John Summit, mad respect. But it's a cool collectible. But it's one of those things that I would wear it on some podcasts sometimes. I would rather wear my own merch and selection stuff. So that's what happened with.
Wow.
John Summit and his label. And now it's called Experts Only. So
nice.
Yeah, that's
cool.
I
appreciate you telling me where you got the sources from too.
Yeah, I mean it's important.
That is important. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So let's move on a little bit.
Yeah.
So let's put a little cherry on top of the whole male entertainer thing.
Okay.
Is male stripper like an appropriate word to say? Is that like not okay, or is it like male entertainer?
I mean, I guess I don't.
Is it like OnlyFans model versus porn star? It's like it's the same thing, but OnlyFans model just sounds better.
I don't care as long as you don't say, "Oh, go dance on no poles," because I won't be dancing on no poles. Okay, I'd be doing group hip hop choreographed routines, motherfucker. I mean, mofo.
That's so funny.
Don't be like, "Yo, get off the turntables, go back on the pole," bro. No, I'm dancing and performing on huge stage, House of Blues,
right.
Yeah, big places.
Right. But with that being said, I'm sure that you can recognize people like me who know nothing about that world. It's an easy thing to make fun of,
Of course.
Yeah, just what else is an easy thing to make fun of? Being a DJ. You know what I mean? Like, people who don't know anything about it look at the DJ and say, "Oh, I wonder when he's going to press play next."
Damn. I actually never thought that. I always thought damn, he has an awesome job.
Yeah. I mean, when I was in college, I would always look at the DJs
awesome
and I would just think to myself, "Oh my God, they're killing it." I always sort of knew that. I mean, I did not know how to DJ when I was in college, but I knew that it was more than just pressing play. But nonetheless, if you're just a guy who's just at a show and you have no idea what DJing like it takes, it's easy to make fun of.
Right.
Yeah, and like I think that you can sort of tell that it's harder to be like if you're a guy who has no knowledge of either DJing or male entertaining, I think that you can look at a male entertainer and say that's actually harder because you have to keep up your body.
Yes, it is. It is hard. The traveling, the damage it does to your body. It's kind of like, if you're a wrestler per se, because injuries happen. Picking up girls, like chairs getting hit into your legs.
Yeah.
So then, maintaining that for 8 years, your body starts to deteriorate. Your back starts to hurt. Your hips start to hurt. Your knees start to hurt.
Right. So, the transition from being a male entertainer to being a DJ. When I first asked about your DJ origins, you said COVID. Now, I'm going to assume something, and I want you to confirm or dispel what I'm about to say. During COVID, the male entertainment shows probably had to stop.
Yes.
Right. So that probably contributed to, your DJing, your DJing pursuits. Is that accurate?
Yeah. I mean, I would definitely say it's accurate. Everyone had no choice but to be inside. So what were you doing with your time? Were you watching reruns of movies or were you learning a new skill?
Studying for the bar.
Studying for the bar.
Yeah, sorry.
This man's got
casual flex.
This man's got like 10 skills. He's a lawyer, he's got a podcast. He can, edit videos. He's a musician. Like, acquire them skills, become valuable in this world.
Thank you. And we're actually going to get into becoming valuable. So I love hearing your progression into like the entertainment space, because at the end of the day, that's really what this is. You started out in one place, male entertaining. Now you're in another. Now you're in another space, DJing. And I think that you're capitalizing off of the business of both, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd say that's totally. I'd say it's totally accurate, and that's wonderful. So, as you have become a DJ, you have learned things. I know that from the first time that you pressed play, you know what I mean, the first time you ever pressed the play and the sync button on on a DDJ 400 to the time that you cranking the freaking flanger on on a DJM 900, you've definitely learned a lot of things about DJing. So I want to ask. So when it comes to like technical DJing advice, what have you learned, and what information do you wish you knew when you first started DJing?
What have I learned? Well, I learned that not to use the flanger as much, obviously, for my transitions. Like, that was like a big thing when I first started DJing. I was a little flanger abuser. Like, I always thought every transition needed all the effects in the world. But now that I've learned is that I perfectly let the songs play, switch out the bass, and now like my transitions are very just, I don't even need effects almost, and it sounds like it's the same song. So that's the transitions being clean. That's one of the biggest things I've learned. Does
that come with a lot of practice? Like, do you do a lot of practice on your own?
I would say I do a lot of practice.
Do you have DJ gear? Like what do you have?
I got the XDJ2s Pioneer.
Oh, the RX2s?
The RX2s.
Nice.
And I'm horrible, by the way, at naming equipment and stuff. Like, you've been just name dropping. You're like, yeah, I got the 9000s here. I'm like, mm-hmm. I'm like,
That's so funny. Yeah, well, I mean, it's obviously very important to have your own DJ gear, whether it's, the nicest, the freaking Opus Quad from Pioneer, or if you just have a DDJ 400, whatever it may be. I think it's really important to make sure that you get your practice in. But something that's also extremely important is, like, organization of music. Do you keep your music organized?
Decent amount, but it'd probably give you anxiety if you saw my playlist.
Yeah, but you probably have some sort of organization that you know where your songs are.
Yeah, you have to with USB.
So like for a show like Troy Boy, which we will discuss, like how do you like prepare for, or maybe Troy Boy's a bad example because there's like some like drama around that, which we're gonna touch on. But if you're going to play at Water, like. Do you wake up like at 5 a.m, go on Record Box, put every single song in order, and then like oh my god, it's perfect, which has its benefits and its detriments, or do you like go up there and wing it, which again has its detriments and its benefits?
Great question. And I have winged it a lot of times before, but I'm like, if I know I'm gonna open for a big DJ, what I do is I'll go and like YouTube their most recent live set. One, because if they're playing certain songs, you're going to know. One, if they're playing certain songs, you're going to know not to play that song. And then you can get way more of a vibe of the set that they're going to play. And then you can play more in tune to that vibe. So that's the amount of research I do. And then, I'll practice a little bit. I wing it a lot of the times as well. And then even if I'm just opening the room at Water, I'm just playing, chill, like, beachy vibe music, and it has nothing to do with the headliner. Just like, if I'm playing like the earliest slot, like everyone's like kind of waking up, getting ready for work. But yeah,
I actually just had J-Dub in here a few days ago, and we were literally discussing this exact topic. We were talking about opening shows specifically at Water, and he said something very much in line with what you just said, which is listen to sets of that, listen to the headliner sets and see what they're playing, and the number one rule being, don't play any of their songs.
Yep.
Do not play any of their songs. So what is your perspective on opening a show? Like, whether it be at Water, whether it be anywhere else, whether it's at Show Bar, whatever. Like, if you are opening a show for a headliner, there is a balance between, like, getting the crowd hyped and not getting the crowd too hyped.
Right.
So what are your thoughts?
And also, am I right before the headliner? Am I opening the show? Am I the first DJ playing out of a 4 to 5 DJ lineup?
Well, please answer both.
Answer both. Okay, so if I'm opening, I'm definitely playing, like a lot chill.
Wait, and sorry. When you say opening,
like the first person to play.
Right.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm playing like kind of like chill, easygoing music, something in the genre, of what the headliner is about to play. Sometimes they'll also even specifically say you can't go past a certain amount of BPMs. You want to, like, Nora and Pierre, for example. Like, she did not want anyone going past like 125, 124 BPMs. So obviously you're going to play like very, chill, deep house, and you're going to listen.
Oh, did she say that?
I want to say yes, it was her.
Okay.
I want to say it happened twice with two different DJs, but don't quote me. Don't come for me, Nora and Pure, or anyone later on.
Yeah, let's not put words into anyone's mouth.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it was like a rider. They had it on a rider.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. Cool. And still, whatever. We don't have to put words into anyone's mouth. Nonetheless, though, I think that's very important. I mean, if I were a big, massive artist, when I'm a big, massive artist,
it's grams.
I'm definitely going to, like, put something like that on a rider. I think it's very important. Like, one of my worst experiences DJing, I was DJing at PTL. No hate to PTL. They're fine. But it was not a good experience DJing because Lex Lyon was right before me. And I don't know if you know who Lex Lyon is. It's totally okay if you don't. But he's like the James Hype of Tampa. Like, he is like hype. Nice. Woo! And I'm definitely more like, okay, like, everyone listen up and just focus in on this amazing, like, journey that I'm about to take you on. But, like, with Lex Lyon, it's like, woo!
See, that's what I like to be.
Right.
So that I like no hold bars. Like, I would love for someone that's like, woo, to go before me. That way I can do the same. You know what I mean? I don't like, having to feel like I have to play less of a hype set or less of as good of a set to appease the people after me. But, that's part of
part of the business. It's part of the business.
Part of the business.
Yeah.
We should probably just get right into the Troy Boy thing about, like, talking about, like, how I played then.
Let's do it.
Because I want to reference that.
Let's do it.
Because the biggest thing is Gemini was opening, the room that day. And I was right after Gemini. And I'm not just going to start, like, dubbing and wubbing, like, right after, what Gemini was opening up with. So I feel like I played a mixture of similar to how I play. I played a little bit of dubby, not so much wubby, more on a dubstep, Transformers having, sex kind of side, which I could have been more on a Troy Boy hip hop, wub side. But I feel like I played a mixture of everything. And what a lot of people don't understand is they're focusing, we're going to have the people like, oh, you didn't open up properly, for Troy Boy over here. And then there's also the people that always go to Pied Piper's events, buy tables and spend money. And they just support Pied Piper events in general, no matter what DJ it is. And they might not want to hear wub, 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 wub the whole time, especially if Stooky Sounds is going to be playing that. And then you're going to hear Troy Boy afterwards. So in my opinion, I played a mixture, kind of everything. Like, stayed true to myself, played a little bit of dubstep, which I normally don't play, you know, for a Troy boy. Realized I was going way too hard. I'm like, oh shit, I'm going too hard. Let me bring it back down. Brought it back to the classics of what I know, which is, you know, bass house, techno, stuff like that. So that's kind of like the set that, you know, I played. I wanted to play something that everyone could enjoy. I wasn't just playing a set for Troy boy.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Right, and I think that does make a lot of sense. So, did you prepare for that set, and if so, how?
Yes, I did. Basically, I didn't have a lot of, like, you know, dub whoopee songs, so I just started looking for songs that, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's crazy because then, like, when you get into heat, you practice, and then when you get into heat in a moment up there, sometimes all those songs that you said you were gonna play just go out the window. So,
Yeah.
like, you know,
I think that makes a lot of sense. So, you know, I want to tell you what I saw. I want to tell you exactly what I saw from, you know, Graham's perspective on.
so you were there.
No,
okay.
I'm saying like the drama. I was not there.
Oh, okay.
I was not there.
Gotcha.
So, for the listeners, for people who are not aware, and for people who are aware, here's what I saw. Okay, and we're gonna get into everything that happened from your perspective. This is what I saw. Okay, first of all, I was already aware of DJ Casper. I was already aware of Mike Diaz. I've never seen either of them play. Actually, I think I saw Casper play a very long time ago. But nonetheless, I go on Instagram and I see that DJ Casper had posted a very long Instagram post. It was a carousel post, meaning that there's about 10 slides in it. The first 4 or 5 slides were minute videos of him talking. The last few were screenshots. In the first few slides, you know, him talking, he explains that he was at Troy Boy last night. Mike Diaz can basically get fucked. He did a terrible job opening. He should never have been on the lineup. He sucks. He and he completely disrespected everything, and everybody in the crowd hated it. And that should not have happened. Tampa is better than this. Tampa needs to be better than this. And then there was a screenshot, and then there was a video of you, like, calling him like a gremlin or something, like, you know, calling him like an over 40. And also in that video, and by the way, I said this to Casper, and I'm going to say this to you. With what I'm about to say, I'm not saying that a crime happened. I am not accusing you specifically of a crime, but, like, apparently there was some sort of, like, fight or altercation or attempted fight. I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm not a witness. But he also brought that up, and there was something about an after party that apparently you were either kicked out of or not allowed in. I don't exactly know. Again, I was not there. Then he posts a screenshot or a video of you it's talking selfie style, telling him to get fucked, and like calling him like a gremlin or whatever it may have been. I don't remember the exact words. And then I saw that on your story, or I think also on his story, there was a picture of you, or maybe a video, saying like, this guy sucks and he shouldn't be DJing here. Now, before I go into like my thoughts, because that, by the way, yeah, go ahead.
Pause. You said, what was that very last part you said? I said something?
That there was a picture of you on his story.
Okay.
It's like saying something. And then I know that like Flacco was involved.
Okay.
Like, so DJ Flacco may have like called you a douche or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well.
So whatever. So again, when it comes to Graham Radio's loyalties, like I'm loyal to music. I'm loyal to love. I think that you have a ton to offer to the music industry. I think that Casper has, he's proven that he has a ton to just over time. And like, I think that, I don't know. I mean, but I wanted both of your perspectives. So please enlighten me.
Got you. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you besides that I just see some other DJ talking trash that I never heard of, and I just, clap back. So all I know is that I'm on the way to the after party, and I seen him post, on his story, talking smack. And then, of course, me with no filter, I talk my smack as well. And since I talked my smack, I get to the after party and I'm not allowed in it because no one wants any drama or confrontation. And then while I'm walking away, lo and behold, I see this shadowy figure of the man that looks like the man on Instagram that's talking smack. I'm like, is this the guy? There's no way that God bestowed this human being before me. In this very moment, it was almost like a test, and I failed. Okay, because basically, like I came up like to him like all aggressive, and there was like a whole thing saying that like like I swung, like I didn't swing on him. My boy Mello, the security, saw me kind of like walking up to him aggressive, and like he came and like grabbed me. He's like, Mike, chill, and like as he grabbed me, like I had my hand. I was talking like this, like with my hands, and I think my hand accidentally hit Casper's like phone out his hand, or I thought it was my phone that like fell out my pocket or something. Anyways, his phone got knocked out of his hand, and that might have been the closest of interaction of Mello grabbing me like, Mike, chill. But he's like, oh, security grabbed him out the after party and dragged, bro. It's Mello. That's my boy. That's not true. You're saying things that are not true and trying to look, paint an image that didn't happen.
Okay.
It's the nicest way that I can say it, DJ Casper.
Okay. And so what it sounds like is any sort of physical altercation from your perspective was unintentional. From my perspective, what it sounds like is there was a drunken mess. Like, by the way, I'm not calling you a drunken mess. I'm calling this whole situation a drunken mess. And I don't know if I don't know. I was not there. I mean, yes or no? Were you heated?
Oh, of course.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Of course.
Like, okay, like yes or no, were
Yeah.
you acting slightly irrational at the time?
More than irrational.
Okay. So, and I think that it was very, self-reflective and self-aware to say, like, Casper was right in front of me. God bestowed this test upon me, and I failed.
Basically, yes.
Yeah.
Because everyone knows, like, let's say I never responded to Casper. He would just look like the bad guy, right? And since, I fell into his hand, his little house of cards hands, now I look like the villain and I look like the bad guy. I look like the liability. And that's probably, what he was after when he didn't get booked and he was upset about it. And that's what everyone knows where it stems from, that Casper and Flacco were allegedly supposed to be, not allegedly, they also put their offers in for the Troy Boy to open for Troy Boy, and it didn't happen. So, they came for me. Came for his own boy Gemini, which they, veteran DJs, old school, they should be sticking together. That's kind of messed up. And then even Flacco talking trash about Piper, saying that, oh, he's cheap, that he books you because you're the cheaper option. So if anything, they also showed their true colors. Yes, I'm the tall, big, scary, liability, bad guy, but I promise you, I'm not the villain in this story. Like, I don't like bullies. I feel like homie was coming for me, and I stand up for myself. Okay. That's it.
Okay. So I did my research before this, and by research I mean I literally talked to people at the venue, and most of the people in the crowd who I talked to said that you did a great job. And I'll just say that, like, I wasn't there. I'm sure that you did totally fine. I'm not the guy who's going to tell you how to do your job. You know what I mean? And I feel the exact same way about Casper. Like, I'm not the guy who's going to, like, tell him how to have a perspective in the music industry. He has way better perspective than me because I have not been in it for nearly as long as him, So my question is this. When's the Casper Mike Diaz B2B? When are we doing that?
It's so funny because I'm like one of those people that, like, it's hard for me to like hate someone like forever or like hold a grudge. Like, I don't have any problem like now with Casper, Flacco. Like, we could like be in the same room like the next day and like nothing ever happened.
Would you be down for a B2B?
Sure.
With Casper?
Yeah, why not?
You're about it?
Bro, I'm about it.
I'm going to tell you this right now. Casper is also down.
Bro, Casper, come out the closet right now.
Yeah.
I knew this is where this is going. Come on.
Yeah.
But no, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that would be incredible if you two did a B2B. That would be great. I have all the gear here. Let's put that on the books. Let's make that happen.
Let's do it. And
yeah.
by B2B, are we talking about like is this like one of those DJ battles things, or like
No,
actual,
not
like,
a battle.
not battling,
A
being
collaboration.
together? Yeah,
It is a collaboration.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not gonna make me go on vinyl, is he?
What?
It's not gonna make me go on vinyl, is he?
What?
Like this vinyl.
Vinyl.
Vinyl. Don't do me like that. All right, edit that out.
No, that I'm keeping in.
No.
That's great.
Vinyl?
Yeah, well, whatever. Vinyl. You know what I mean? I think that would be awesome. I can make that happen. That's hysterical. I think that would be an amazing cherry on top of this whole, shitty little situation. Because at the end of the day, I mean, I think that we all are on the same team. We all just want to make Tampa music great, right? Like, you're DJing these big shows. Casper's DJing these big shows. I'm, reporting on all of it. I think that the ultimate goal here for everyone, no matter who doesn't like who and drama and BS, it's not like we're freaking trading freaking like hundreds of millions of dollars in stocks and someone just lost their house. Like, we're freaking playing trap music at a freaking bar. You know what I mean? So, like, I think that, it's all about love. At the end of the day, we're all on the same team. We just want to see Tampa music be great, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One more thing I was gonna say.
Yeah.
And like
Please.
like with all like the beef, like one thing like I'll never do is like comment on things that I don't know. Like I would never be like come for Casper or Flacco's like career or music and his accolades because I don't know him. I don't know the guy. I don't know what he's accomplished, so I can never speak on it. So what do I like when I talk my smack for someone I don't know? I'm probably gonna just talk about their age, their height. Just like if I was filthy rich, I might be like, oh, you're a broke boy, like or like if I'm talking to someone who's not that educated or smart, I'd be like, oh, you're stupid. Go get a law degree. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would never come for his accolades and speak on things that I don't know. And he's probably an amazing DJ. Like I've not experienced it until this whole experience. I don't know him either as a person. So all of like the beef we had with me, him, and Flacco, it's just very surface level, like, digs into each other. And really deep down, like at this point, like, no animosity. Like you want as little enemies in this game, if anything, as possible. Especially me, Mike Diaz. I got too many enemies already. I don't need no more enemies. Like I got frenemies. Like
I got enemies.
I'm
got a
good.
lot of
I'm
enemies.
good. If I can delete some enemies off my list, please help me.
Yes, well, I think that very well spoken. It's all love in the game. You know what I mean? And I think that you said it best. It's just surface level drama. I think that feelings just got hurt, and at the end of the day, who cares? You know what I mean?
Who cares?
Life
goes on.
Life goes on.
I feel like it peaked the fire though. Like it's almost like I feel like it peaked the fire in Casper's butt, peaked the fire in my butt. Sometimes like drama and stuff like that, good things could happen. Because now he might be like, oh, I'm gonna show that Mike Diaz motherfucker. I'm about to take my shit to the next level. I'm gonna put that boy in his place. He don't know nothing what he's talking about. And then me, I'm over here. I'm like, oh man, I can't wait. Like I'm trying to be big time Casper. Just wait. I'm coming. I'm gonna make all these songs. Like I'll show you. Just wait. Like You know what I mean? So let's the fire in you.
Dude, so correct. Sometimes when negative stuff happens, you just want to be more positive. Like just cancel it out and just be even better. Like if you get knocked down, it's not. I mean, what's that quote? It's not about how many times you get knocked down. It's
a Rocky quote.
It's how many. It's whether or not you get back up. Or what's the exact quote?
No matter how many times you get knocked down, all that matters is just basically you get back up.
Yeah, get back up and work and work even harder. You know what I mean? So back to back, Mike Diaz, Casper coming soon. I'm gonna put you two in a group chat.
Oh gosh, that's toxic.
Yeehaw! Let's party. So okay. I feel like we put a nice little cherry on top of all that. Is there anything further that you want to speak on for that?
You said B2B, me and Casper. Been thinking about this. There's a way to make money behind this, by the way, Casper, if you're watching this. There's a way, like an event or something. Okay. I feel like there might be a little bit something even better and bigger that can potentially come from this. So, let's put our heads together.
If you and Casper had a DJ duo name, what would that be called? Beef?
I don't know. Casper the not so friendly ghost.
That's so funny. Not so friendly.
Casper not so friendly ghost.
Yeah. Actually, the the interview that me and Casper are I'm calling it DJ Casper and then tough love. Because that was sort of the crux of our conversation. Like he has no qualms about you at all. You know, it's just it's just tough love.
I'll take it. That just makes sense. Like, you just talk shit. I talk shit back. Everyone else that, you know, is getting bent out of shape and making it thrown out of proportions. It was like, you know, we drunkenly, verbally said some things to each other.
Oops.
And then we moved on.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You got to move on. And speaking of moving on,
Go ahead.
Go
One more
ahead.
thing I was gonna say. All my really good friends and best friends, by the way, I've like either fought first or didn't get along with first. That's proven facts. In the movies and in the anime, like, you know, the villain, you know, the hero, they battle at first and then they become good friends later.
Yeah, that's so true. I actually have a couple of like best friends who, like, when we met, we fucking hated each other. You know?
Facts.
Yeah, you're not much different than I. Yeah. So, you know, one thing about like you versus Casper is Casper inarguably has more DJ experience than you. But like when it comes to like your experience, one thing that I want to ask you about is crowd management. You know, like at Troy Boy, allegedly you like didn't manage the crowd well, which, you know, that's neither here nor there. I wasn't there. A lot of people in the crowd said that you did a great job. Like I've heard some that you didn't, but like mostly yes, that you did totally fine. But when it comes to crowd management at places like Water, where, you know, like at any bar you want the crowd to go and buy a drink at some point. Like what are your thoughts on all this?
So are you implying that you want him to buy a drink to bring it down?
Well, bring
the hype down, because I was hype. I didn't give him a break for no drinks. They ain't no breaks for drinks with Mike Diaz.
Well, but that is something that venues aren't gonna like, though. Like one thing that J-Dub has talked about, that I think Tatro talked about this. He's a part of Late Night Flights, and other DJs who have had on. One thing that they say ubiquitously is when it comes to, you know, if you're DJing a long set, you want to have at least one or two songs where the crowd can like go and like get a drink. You want to give the venue their money because they're there selling drinks. You know, isn't that like? I mean, it's okay if you've never thought about this before.
I feel like it's a reasonable spin to, you know, justify playing some slow music, and I'm just me personally, like I don't know, like I would not.
Isn't that an interesting thing to think about?
I would not try to think. I'm like, let me put two songs. These are drink songs, so, you know, it's gonna be chill time. I don't think they even think that. Maybe the club owners, like you said, you know, they might be thinking about that. Man, this guy goes way too hard. Then, you know, no one's buying drinks right now. They might be thinking about that. But one thing I don't want is that anyone in that crowd to be like, oh, this shit's kind of soft, or oh, like it's all right. Like I wanted an inexcusable, you know, good set.
You know, let me sort of resolve this issue for you. You don't necessarily need to play a slow song. A piece of advice that J-Dub gave me on when I had him on was, if you want the crowd to flip, and actually this comes from DJ Wildcard, but if you want the crowd to flip, i.e. everyone on the dance floor goes and buys a drink, and everyone who's at the bar right now comes on the dance floor, you flip the genre. For example, let's say that you're playing like hip hop. If you switch it to Latin, all the people in the crowd are going to give you a dirty look, and then they're going to go to the bar and buy a drink, and then everyone at the bar who wants Latin music is going to come and dance.
See, I like that. Interesting.
Right.
And to comment on that, during the Troy Boy set, like, man, I was playing this like one really hard dubstep song, and I'm like, man, this song is like just too hard. And I literally thought that, I'm like, all right, let me just like bring them back down and just like cool them down, because I just played two back-to-back really hard songs. So like I do have like that management. I just never have thought like, let me go, you know, the drink situation. And like you said, the genre flip. I kind of be flipping genres naturally sometimes.
Yeah.
But I never thought about that. You know, like, oh,
Isn't
yeah.
that interesting?
Yeah. Give them a good break.
Yeah.
Something I did want to comment on as far as crowd control during Troy Boy, man, I feel like I had immaculate crowd control as far as like engaging with making eye contact. Like when I'm switching out the basses, you're knowing I'm like fucking bass gone, bass in. Like you're seeing my hand. So when you hear a different sound, you're seeing my hand and everything go with it. So I felt like I was definitely making a whole lot of eye contact and like really, bringing out stage presence. But if you're talking about crowd control as far as like the bathrooms and like,
well,
drinks and stuff,
I was actually just about to use that phrase, stage presence, because I mean, who has more experience with stage presence than you?
yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, when DJing, when it comes to stage presence, actually, like, dude, it's hard. Like, I have to constantly tell myself, man, make eye contact, be extra, bring the energy, because sometimes I just want to stare down at the board or pretend like I'm doing something the whole time and not look up. I'm not gonna lie. But
when I DJ, one thing that I like to do is so first of all, like if I'm DJing, 9 times out of 10, I have a big glass of wine right next to me. Like I am a wine drinker when it comes to DJing. So one thing that I do a lot, if there's like a big, beautiful, elongated rise up to a drop, I'll like hold up, I'll like hold up the wine glass like to the crowd and give them like a like one of these.
you got to definitely make the face.
Yeah. So how long have we been going for? I feel like we can kind of cut it. Oh wow, we've been going for over an hour. Well, kind of, because I started. Whatever, we've been going for about an hour.
Nice.
So yeah. Oh, I want to talk to you about like networking and being valuable. Like, one thing that I think that we touched upon just now when it comes to being valuable is your stage presence. And like, although you maybe don't have like, and I'm not calling you out here, maybe you don't have like the necessary like skills to like always be looking at the crowd while also doing these technical transitions, which that just comes with practice. You recognize the importance of that, and you recognize the importance of stage presence, and I feel like that is where a big part of your value comes. So I want to talk to you about just like networking and bringing your own unique value into a venue.
Correct. Yeah. So something off the cameras that I brought up when I first actually saw you, and actually I saw like one of your interviews, and I think one of the questions you asked is like, what would be your advice to someone wanting to get in these like these big clubs and like never DJ'd anywhere before? How did they get in? What did they do? And I thought like do exactly what Graham Radio is: become valuable, bring a certain skill or something that's inexcusable, where like they're like, hey, we need this guy, or he is completely different from everyone else. He's like, he forced himself into the scene. Now he's a presence that, everyone, he's there. Like, and then he's not stopping. He's putting the gas pedal down.
Thank you.
Gas pedal's down. So now he's only going to be going up. He's got videography skills. He can videograph. That's super valuable for networking.
I appreciate you saying all this. Thank you.
Like, yeah. So very, very valuable man. As far as me, what value do I bring to like when you host an event at your club? Like maybe the crowd that I bring, are people going to be buying tables? Is he going to bring a lot of hot pretty girls, which is going to be good for business? So that's kind of the value that people look at me as when they book me for these DJ gigs.
Mm-hmm. And first of all, thank you for saying all of that. I love that, and I really appreciate you saying that. Taking a step back from what you're saying, though, just the concept of being valuable. Like everyone has a thing. Everyone is into something, and if you can figure out how to get good at that thing and how to use it to someone else's benefit. For example, when I DJ'd at Emberd, I literally made so many marketing materials and videos talking about how I'm DJing at Emberd, and I did all this stuff because I have these skills, Like maybe I can't bring out, like 30, 40 girls. Like I just don't know that many girls, I only need to know one girl. Honey? Okay, maybe I don't know any girls, but like I just like having like a unique value that you can bring to a venue will absolutely help you market.
Correct. Right.
Yeah.
A 1,000,000%. Like just don't like what's stopping them from booking this DJ and this DJ. Just be different. Bring like even if you are a great DJ, like some club owners are like what is if you're an amazing DJ, coming from California, the best of the best, and then the club owner might be like, but is he going to bring any people? Like he's asking for this rate, but like, how am I going to make my money back at the venue?
Yeah. Like at the end of the day, the booking agents, the people who are running the venue, they have a business to run. And that actually, going back to the Casper Troy Boy situation, like something that I spoke with Casper about is just like, if you're gonna be upset with someone, wouldn't it be the people who booked rather than the DJ? Because like it's not like it's a surprise that you DJ'd, whatever you DJ'd. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, Mike Diaz is going to bring the Mike Diaz set. And by the way, I'm not like trying to call out like Pied Piper or that whole thing at all, like literally at all. But what I'm saying is like, wouldn't the like issue with the music being played be more with the people who did the booking? Right?
Yeah.
Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah, in a sense, and I think maybe Casper probably like honestly like because I know the feeling like that you get like sometimes where you're like, man, like if I could be up there, like I would do so much better of a job and stuff like that. And then maybe it probably truly pained Casper, and he thought like, yo, I could do like way better of a job. This fucking sucks. I was supposed to be playing this gig, and he had a bunch of emotions and like just. Maybe had some shots and felt some type of way. So
you know what? I'm gonna cut that. I'm gonna cut that last question out because we already touched upon it. Whatever. You know what, Mike Diaz? I think you have a takeover set to run.
Yes, sir.
Right. So where can people find you? Shout out whomever you'd like to shout out.
Yeah. Instagram, the Mike Diaz, THE, Mike MIKE DIAZ, and that's my same handle for basically everything. And yeah, SoundCloud. Yeah, SoundCloud, the Mike Diaz. Pretty sure. Yeah. I know. I had to think about that.
Wonderful.
Wait, ask the question again.
So, thank you so much for coming on the pod, Mike Diaz. Really great interview. Where can people find you?
So, my social media handle is the same for everything. It's the Mike Diaz, THE, Mike MIKE Diaz DIAZ. And my next gig is going to be at the 13 Ugly Men Halloween party on October 21st. So, pull up if you want to see, my DJ skills.
Wonderful.
Graham, you gonna pull up?
When is it? The 21st?
October 21st. Tell me later, but you're
I'm
invited.
I'm gonna tell you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm actually gonna be in
Miami for 3 points.
I am gonna be in Miami. I think that my friend's getting. Oh, I'm gonna be at Club Space seeing the Martinez brothers and Jamie Jones.
In October 21st.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be in Miami.
Yeah.
3 points.
I'm gonna be at Club Space.
So it's not. I don't know.
It's my friend's wedding. Like it's actually really lit.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. My friend's getting married on that Friday, and then there's like a cocktail hour after, or I mean a reception, excuse me. And then after, we all paid to get tables at Club Space.
That's fire.
Yeah, it's $300 a pop, and that's like $300 for me and $300 for my girl. Like it's crazy.
Wow.
And 36 of us, all in suits at Club Space. Jamie Jones, Martinez brothers. Shit's gonna be fucking crazy.
That's fire.
I know.
Fun.
I know. But dude, I'm gonna be in Miami the whole weekend. So my friends Nico and Lauren, who have actually been on the pod before, which is funny, back in the Graham Radio podcast days. So that's happening on Friday/Saturday, and then Sunday my other friends are getting married. So it's gonna be a whole weekend. Nice. Yeah, but dude, I'll hit you up, and if I can get into freaking 3 points with you, dude, oh my god.
So that's the thing. I bought these. I have 2 3-point tickets. I got it a long time ago, and then I forgot I have to DJ October 21st in Tampa. So I don't know if I'm driving there, selling it, or like We'll
whatever. We'll figure it out off pod. It's fine. For the listeners, make sure you're following Graham Radio. Make sure you're following Immersive Groove. I have a 2-hour house music mix that I put out every single week. Fresh house music, lots of IDs that my guests send me. For the listeners, I love you. Peace. Wonderful.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
It's grams. Put it on a scale.
Play together.
Put it on a
scale. Oh, fuck, hold on.
It's grams. Put it on a scale.
Bro, whose voice is that?
That's Pay Major. He's like a local rapper.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Great stuff. You can put that down. Yeah. Nice. Dude, I know.